most unpopular opinions are that men can control the face they make when they play the guitar, and that pets do not have a sense of humor. And I don't want to get into the pets thing, because people get so upset even when I mention it that they become enraged and illogical. The 3 models that I used to live with once became so angry at the suggestion of the idea that by the end of our argument, they were yelling at me that even dragons might be real. So I don't like to get into it because it's too upsetting. But I will talk about the guitar faces. I know men can control the faces they make because they're all making the same choices. One of the most common ones that you see is, now what did I come in this room again for? That one looks something like this. Another one you see a lot is, I'm going to restrain my full sexual potential. Because if I didn't, you might become so overwhelmed with lust that you would come up onto the stage, rip my clothes off, and devour me whole. That one looks more like this. Sometimes it also has a quality of, you're welcome. Then it looks like this. When you get into more intricate fingerwork, there's a whole different set of faces that come into play. One of the most common guitar faces for intricate fingerwork is called the happy dandy. That one looks a little something like this. Sometimes this one also has a quality of, I don't even know what I might play next. I once had a voice teacher and I had to fire him because the face he made during instruction was so distracting. It was something like this. Nostrils. I was really surprised by how wide the nostrils were. I didn't know that human nostrils could go that wide. The face looked a little bit like the face you might make when you're being anally penetrated. And it's in those first precious moments when you can't decide if it's the most pleasure you've ever felt in your entire life, or if, honey, we should have used a little more lube again. And I had to fire him because the suspense was killing me. You're welcome. I really don't want to get into the pets thing because, like I said, it's too upsetting for humans. But I do have to talk about animals in a general sense because I don't know what kind of sadistic kick the adults were on when we were little, but they were in a terrible rush to introduce all the animals very quickly. You remember? They would show us a picture of a chicken, and they would say, "What is this?" And we would say, "Chicken?" And they would say, "Yes, very good." They would say, "Now what does the chicken say?" And we would say, "Cluck." And they would say, "Very good," and flip the page. And then they would introduce the pig, and they would say, "Now what is this?" "Pig." "Yes, and what does the pig say?" "Oink." "Yes." And then they would go on to the cow, and I thought, no, wait. I haven't fully processed the chicken. I'm still processing those beady little eyes that are practically soulless, and those scaly taloned feet that, just looking at them, you know on an intuitive gut level that they must be useful for witchcraft because they have a sort of demonic power. And then they have all those feathers, almost too many feathers, just extra feathers all stuffed in there. And can they even fly? It doesn't seem to be a question we'll ever be able to answer. But they're already onto the pig. And I'm sorry, between the chicken and the pig, there's a whole universe of difference. The pig is so fleshy and soft. Something particularly horrifying about the nose, waiting to touch the world with its soft, sweaty exterior. And they're already onto the cow. Between the cow and the pig, there's too many differences. The cow has those eyelashes, like the eyelashes of a diva. And the flesh of the cow is so soft, the udders so pink. I don't think any of us have fully processed the udders of the cow. And all of the soft flesh is hanging on this tiny little pointy skeleton. And don't even get me started on the animals that you can just have. You could just have a cat. You could just have a cat in your home. You could also have a dog. You could have a dog and a cat. What? Those two energies are so different. The cat is so sexual and superior, just walking around from room to room with that exposed, stinky anus, looking down on everyone in the household. And the dog goes outside, eats some grass, vomits it up, then eats it again, and seems to be unbothered by the whole business. It's so different energetically. The dog is like so obedient. It's humiliating for everyone. You have to wonder, what does it all mean? And don't even get me started on the carnivorous animals. And that is human stand-up comedy. I made this portion of the concert to be particularly relatable to human beings. So if you related to that portion, there's a high chance that you yourself are a human being. You're welcome.